Okay, feel sorry for me because I'm about to introduce a woman who needs no introduction. Founding and senior minister of Pacific Church, Reverend Kathy went on to be the community spiritual leader for United Centers for Spiritual Living for 10 years. Yeah, 10 years. And she's currently serving as the dean for the Centers for Spiritual Living School of Spiritual Leadership, the San Diego campus. But her most important title for me is she is my minister. And I'm sharing her with you today. Please welcome the Reverend Dr. Kathy Hearn.
Goodness, between Andy's song and what Reverend Patty just said, now I have to talk. So, good morning, everybody. Wow, you are a bunch of you here. I'm so happy to see you. Thank you. Reverend Patty, thank you so much for the invitation to come here. It's always very special to me. And John, thank you for all of your support. I make him slightly crazy, I think, periodically, but he's really nice about it. And Andy, where'd you go? Thank you, there you are. Well, I dressed to match Andy today. I should have thought of a tie, but that didn't come up. Anyway, thank you for singing that. Thank you so much. I love that song. I don't know a more beautiful song about transformation, that we go, that what Spirit works on us. I just think it's so powerful. So I'm thrilled to be here today, and it's my joy to touch in a bit on Reverend Patty's theme of imagination this month, and also Centers for Spiritual Living has a year-long program, and the theme in that system is creativity. So I'm going to touch in a little bit on those two topics. My talk for today is Alive in the Mystery, and I'll tell you that yesterday I was alive in the mystery of why I chose that topic title, because I completely lost the thread of it, totally. I was like, what inspired me to do that? But I am fascinated to see where the talk took me and where I'm about to take you, if you are willing. And I realize that every talk's like a train we get on for about 20 minutes together. And so we'll be riding the train, and I promise to deliver you to the station. Okay, so the doors are locked, all aboard, and here we go. And I want to start by offering you 3 questions for your contemplation. The first one is, where do I stand in the world? The second one is, how do I want to be? And the third one is, what do I want to create? So 3 questions. And the first question, where do I stand in the world? I'm not talking about physical location. And I'm also not talking about persona or image, and neither am I talking about political position. So none of those things. This is not a political talk, so take a deep breath and let it go. And I'm going to mention the media in a minute, but that's as far as I'm going. So it's about where do we stand inside of ourselves, and what do we stand in and for and as? As people of consciousness, of spiritual consciousness, who believe in the creative power of thought, that's the question. And the question came up for me because I was watching media coverage last week, and I can't decide if it's soap opera or Greek tragedy. I don't think we know which one it is yet. I was hooked on the soap, absolutely. And I know, I was just waiting for the next episode, And what it brought up for me was the clearest, deepest experience I've ever had about what Buddhism and Hinduism calls Maya. And Maya is a word that means many things. It's a beautiful woman's name. It's also the name of goddess. But Maya means illusion or magic. Illusion or magic. And it is the power wielded by gods and demons to produce illusion. This is mythic now, I hope. And Maya is the illusion itself. It is the appearance of the phenomenal world, what we might call the magic show. And it is what exists, but is constantly changing. And therefore, it is spiritually unreal. Because what is spiritually real is what abides. What is spiritually real is what abides. It is the power or principle, therefore, that conceals spiritual reality, and in the presence of Maya, at least in my experience, we lose what is real and true. We lose what is real and true. In my head right now, Maya is thick. It's really thick. Of course, relief is as close as turning off the television, which I have done the last 2 days. But there's something important about that, because Maya goes away when we don't participate in it. So for me right now, what is real and true is clouded, and we're getting caught up. I'm getting caught up in a swirl that I can't do anything about, and that is spiritually untrue for me. Spiritually untrue. 24 hours a day, we are in a swirl of opinion and projection and perception and conjecture, which, if you really look at it, says more about the person speaking than it does about the it that is being spoken to. Just an incredible swirl of opinion. And of course, I call real the perceptions I agree with and false the ones that I don't. Am I the only one? I'm just calling myself out on this. One of the greatest gifts so that's it on that. So one of the greatest gifts of being so hooked up technologically right now is that we know what people are saying all the time. And the greatest penalty of being hooked up technologically is that we know what people are saying all the time. And again, the relief is right in our own hands. And so if you go through any kind of time of being discouraged, and we're all in it. This is not one person's doing. We're all in it. If you get discouraged or dismayed, just name it Maya and see what happens. It's Maya. It's the illusion. It's the illusion. So Maya is in this Eastern tradition, is the appearance or illusion of the phenomenal world. It is the nothing that pretends to be something. And underneath, in fact, wait a minute, before I go on, I have a joke about that. My friend Duke sent this little bit of existential humor. So Jean-Paul Sartre is sitting in a cafe in Paris. And you know this one? And the waiter comes and he says to the waiter, "Monsieur, I would love a cup of coffee with no cream." And the waiter says, "I'm sorry, monsieur, we are out of cream. How about with no milk?" That's Maya right there. So there's the Maya that swirls, right? And then there is the deep foundation of life called the mystery. The deep foundation of life called the mystery. And the mystery also has different meanings. That mystery can mean something that's difficult or impossible to understand or explain. Mystery also means something that's secret. There were the mystical teachings of ancient Egypt and Greece that were only for the initiates, the people who had the eyes to see and the ears to hear. They were the secret teachings. In fact, I have a great big old book at home called The Secret Teachings of All the Ages. And the mystery is that which is hidden. It is that which has not yet come to light. And we can talk about the mystery of God as the darkness out of which creation comes. So we've got the Maya, and we've got the deep level of the mystery. And the mystery is the realm of the mystic. And the mystic is a person who perceives the profound oneness of life. And Ernest Holmes in the Science of Mind textbook has a lovely chapter on what the mystics have taught. And he says that unity is the mystical secret of the ages. That unity is the mystical secret of the ages. In fact, in those secret teachings, it was all about the initiates coming to know his or her oneness with God, the unity of all life. And unity or oneness is the deep center of Jesus' teachings. Right at the center of his teachings is this truth of oneness. So all the mystics have taught the same thing. They have taught that we are souls on the pathway of experience of self-discovery. That we are journeying back to the Father's house. That's what Jesus called God. We're journeying back to the Father's house. Our being is divine. Our destiny is sure. We're all going to get there. I love that part. We're all going to get there. That creation is complete now. The gift of God has been made. Creation has been made, and it's ours for the receiving. And we can choose to have our life be any way that we want. We each get to choose what we're going to do with our life. But when we turn to the one, when we look up above the conditions and turn to the one, we will be inspired. We will be inspired and uplifted. In that chapter, Ernest Holmes talks about the mystics speaking about this marvelous relationship between the human being and God, and that the mystics have felt that they walked and talked with God the same way we're going to be walking and talking to each other in a few minutes from now. And the understanding here is that the presence of God is real to anyone who believes it, who believes in it. The presence of God is real to anyone who believes in it. So here we are, as I look at life for today, poised between these two dimensions. The swirl of the phenomenal world and the deep mystery and truth of oneness. And so the question, where do you stand, is poised in that space. Where do you stand? And which one of these realms gets the most of your attention? What are you most caught up in every day? Is it the swirl or is it the deep truth of oneness? It makes the difference. And right between these two is the realm where we love and learn and imagine and create. And so to me, imagination is about generating new ideas. It is about coming up with thoughts of greater possibility. It is about having a thought about what is possible for us that takes us beyond the good that we have known so far, and that allows us to actually engage with and acknowledge that our life can expand and be even happier than it is right now. So that's imagination for me. And new creation doesn't begin until we have a new thought. That's why we're called the New Thought Movement. Have a new thought, why don't you? So creativity is taking that higher idea of greater possibility and saying a deep yes to it. And absolutely being willing to have that become the truth. The good that I imagine for myself can become the conviction of my heart. And when we're able to do that, then we think our thought, we keep our attention and intention on that very thing, and we back it up with our decisions and actions, so that we actually start living in such a way that we bring about what we have imagined in a creative way, The kind of creativity that I've been thinking a lot about recently is the power that we have in this in-between realm between Maya and mystery to bring ourselves out in expression in new ways. That we have the power to decide how we want to be in any given situation and to be that. We have the power to decide how we want to be in any given situation and to be that, not taking the cue from the world and the Maya and the situation the way that it is. Does this make sense to you the way I'm saying it? I think I said I was never going to ask that question again. Hoping to make sense to myself. So it is not about looking to the world to be a certain way so that we can be okay. It is about deciding what okay is and choosing to do that and be that and bring that forward into expression. So those are the second and third questions for you. How do I want to be in any situation, and what do I want to create? So this is on my mind because in a couple of weeks I am entering into a situation where there's going to be lots of love and light and celebration and joy. There's also going to be any number of relationships from the past, not all of which are reconciled, and they don't all belong to me, so don't go there. And there are going to be a bunch of people I've never met before that suddenly I'm going to be related to. So do you know what this kind of event is called? A wedding. My daughter's getting married. Woohoo! And so I have a choice. As I think about this situation, I have a choice. Am I going to get caught up in the Maya of it? And what I imagine is creeping underneath the surface, or all of these various things. There's enough Maya that goes on in wedding planning anyway, but am I going to get caught up in that kind of swirl, or am I going to decide to set my dial to be love and light and bring that forward into expression and stay right in that little place on my little patch of God and create that in my experience? You can guess that I'm going for number 2 there. I'm going for the greater possibility of the good. And so I offer you these questions in terms of where they're relevant in your life. And I hope they are. Sometimes when I get on a train of a talk, I think, what's going on with the people that this is what's coming forward for me to express to them? It's always my stuff, but I think it's yours too. So if there is a place in your life where you're entering into a difficult situation, or a relationship that's been problematic, I just want to remind you that you have the power to say, where am I going to stand in this? And how do I want to be? And what is it that I want to create? Because we have that power to be as we decide to be, no matter what. No matter what anybody else is doing, no matter what the past has been. We just set our dial and we start transmitting in the way that we wish to transmit, and then see what happens. And then absolutely see what happens. So I encourage you to look in your life and see where that might be relevant to you. The great truth is that the only consciousness we can ever heal is our own. The only consciousness we can ever heal is our own. And the only expression we can ever control is our own. I know you've tried. I've tried with other people. It is only our own that we can ever do. And we have that amazing choice. And we are the ones who ultimately inhibit ourselves or set ourselves free to have a different experience than what we've had before. And regardless of past experiences, we can bring ourselves forward freshly and newly and in a whole new way at a much higher level. I was talking to one of my woo-woo friends the other day, and she was reminding me about the big evolution on the planet, and that we who are light workers are meant to be going up in vibration right now and letting go of the past and standing in the truth of the one and the truth of love and the truth of light so that the frequency starts to shift. So I offer you that for creative thought as well. So there is a creative spark within each one of us. It is divine. It was implanted in us by Spirit. It is the very spark by which Spirit created all of creation. It is always available to us. There is no place where that spark of creation is not available unless we choose not to look for it and use it. We have to choose to use it and to bring it forth. And if the spark seems lost, it's we who have lost it. Meister Eckhart, a great mystic, said, God is at home, it is we who've gone out for a walk. God is at home, it is we who have gone out for a walk. If Spirit isn't there, who moved? If we're feeling passionless and unhappy and caught in the Maya of things, the non-forgiveness of the past, all of that stuff that swirls, it is we who have turned our attention to that instead of to the greater truth. And so here's an affirmation, which of course we're going to do 3 times. One for spirit, one for spirit, one for mind, and I almost lost it, and one for body. Okay, you ready? I allow the ongoing activity of spirit into my heart, my mind, and my activities to bring forth new forms and expressions to inspire and guide. That's number 1. Number 2, I allow the ongoing activity of Spirit into my heart, my mind, and my activities to bring forth new forms and expressions to inspire and guide. And one more time, I allow the ongoing activity of Spirit into my heart, my mind, and my activities to bring forth new forms and expressions, to inspire and guide. And one more affirmation that we're going to do one time. Here we go. Today, I call forth the infinite and inexhaustible spark of Spirit, the infinite and inexhaustible spark of Spirit to create through me. All right, so I invite you to close your eyes. And Mark, may we have a little music? Thank you. So just closing your eyes right now and taking a nice deep breath. Let it go. Taking a moment to consciously feel your feet on the floor in your body in the chair and begin to give attention to your breath as it moves in and out of your body. Just notice the movement of the breath to the top of your inhale and to the bottom of your exhale. And let your inhale and your exhale be one continuous cycle so that you begin to feel the wheel of the breath. And give your attention to the center of the wheel and know that it is the heart of God. And let that center merge with your own heart center as you direct your breath in and down into the deep place that some traditions call the cave of the heart. And there you meet the inner self, the indwelling presence that sees with the eye of wisdom and the eye of love. And just silently ask this inner self to guide you now. You can just silently say, "Guide me now." And allow it to bring up into your awareness a person or a situation in which some transformation on your part is wanted or necessary. And it's tempting as somebody or something comes up to say, "No, not that one," but I invite you just to go with whatever it is that comes up. And if there is nothing there, just rest in the meditation. We'll catch up with you shortly. But take a moment to look at the person or see the situation and make a choice. Where will you stand? Will you stand in the experiences of the past and the swirl and the judgments and whatever it might have been, or just that feeling of lack of reconciliation? Or will you come to stand in the deep place, that mystical perception that knows oneness is all there is? Will it be Maya or mystery, swirl or oneness for you? The past or the present moment of possibility? You choose. And now ask yourself, how do I want to be? What is it that I want to express? To bring forth from the truth of my being? And next, what do I want to create? As my experience of myself and my offering to others, what do I want to create? And so whatever you have seen in this meditation, if you choose it to be so, just place your hand on your heart and just say yes. Yes. And know that by the deep yes, it is already in process. And you remember, and you be, and you create. And Spirit smiles. And so I offer you this reading that actually Reverend Jean had at her ordination, just a part of it, from Howard Thurman. In the quietness of this place, surrounded by the all-pervading presence of God, my heart whispers, keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve, that in fair weather or in foul, in good times or in tempests, in the days when darkness and the foe are nameless or familiar, I may not forget that to which my life is committed. Keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve. And so it is in this consciousness that I give thanks for this time to speak today. I'm delivering you back to the station right now, knowing that all is well. I accept for each one of us as we choose, that we allow ourselves to be exactly how we want to be, and to bring forth the truth of oneness as love and joy and peace on behalf of our own experience and our contribution to all of life, and giving thanks that this is so, allowing us to be alive in the mystery. Together we say, and so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. And so I invite you to take a deep breath, open your eyes, and here we go.
I've really got to use my imagination to think of good reasons to keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.
Got to make the best of this blessed situation.
Blessed situation.
Ever since that day when I realized that I was strong. Darkness all around me, blocking out the sun. Oh, thoughts call me, but I just don't feel like talking to anyone. Spirit now has found me, and it just won't let me go. I'll go right on living, and why? Because I know
You're too strong to keep on keeping on.
yes I am.
You're too strong to just keep on
Living
keeping
life
on.
creatively, joins blossoms as it should. But our misunderstandings are too well understood.
Too well understood.
Brand new reason
And new reason.
when all thought died.
Oh, God's time.
Not a day goes by that I don't realize I really got to use
Got to use.
my imagination.
I got to use.
Think of good reason.
I got to use.
I'll keep on keeping on.
I got to use.
Said you're gonna make the best of a blessed situation.
blessed situation.
Ever since that day,
Ever since that day,
that I was strong.
too strong to keep on.
We really got to use
Got to use.
our imagination.
We got to use.
Think of good reason.
We got to use.
Oh, keep on keeping on.
We got to use.
Gonna make the best of this blessed situation.
Blessed situation.
Ever since that day,
Ever since
I
that
realized
day,
that I was strong.
too strong to
Gonna make the best of
keep on.
my imagination.
Keep on.
Gonna make the best of
Keep on.
my imagination.
Keep on.
You're too strong, got to keep on keeping on.
You're too strong.
Got to keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on.
Okay, so this is the time for the Miracle Minute, and don't we have a lot to be grateful for already? Reverend Kathy, thank you for that talk. It was just for me. I just want you to know. It was absolutely just for me because my daughter's getting married in July also. So I'm trying to find my little patch of God also. Thank you so much. And now is the time for the Miracle Minute, like I said. So if you have had a demonstration of answered prayer, this is the time to share it right here, right now. Andy Anderson.
Well, it's really not for me. It's for Larry. And he told me to tell you, thank you for his prayer because he fell and cracked his pelvis. And now he's like walking around, which is good and bad.
Thank you. No, his. Yeah. Hi. How you doing, Monica?
Well,
Good.
so I'll try to be quick about this. So I put in a prayer request like 3 years ago to find other sources of income for all my goals and needs. And for 3 years, nothing. And then last year, a coworker came to me and he started raving on about how much money he made off the stock market. And I said, I can't do that. And he said, oh yes you can, I'll show you how. And I said, okay, this is interesting. So I put money into an investment account and I started playing the stock market. And in about November of last year, I saw a company, the stock go down on a company that makes Candy Crush. And I thought, ooh, this would be the funnest game to play Candy Crush with the company. And on top of that, I learned about stock options, which is really a bet on the stock. It's not an actual ownership of the stock. And I thought, ooh, well, I'll play a bet that the stock is going to go up. And I spent $22,000 on it and lost everything. And of course, I went crying to Reverend Penny Parks, crying, and she said, this is just a condition, and like all conditions, they change. She says, I'll pray for you that this will pass. And so while that was happening, my stock advisor said, you know, don't ever take it as a negative when a stock doesn't go up or goes down. See it as an opportunity to buy more. So I thought, I have $6,000. I'll invest more in Candy Crush, but at a later expiration date for the bet. And so I picked May 19th as the expiration date of that bet. And on May 19th, I made $34,000.
Holy moly. Okay. I'm still breathing. I'm still breathing. What we know is that sign on the wall. Prayer changes things. Prayer changes things because prayer changes us. We become that clear vessel through which Spirit can flow, change conditions around us. We know this is truth. We know that prayer changes things because prayer changes us. So wherever you are on your spiritual journey, whatever you are doing to know that, to get to that place of knowing that oneness with all, just continue doing that. Prayer, meditation, visioning, Sufi dancing, walking in nature, sitting by the ocean, whatever it is that you do, that brings you to that place of knowing. It is our knowing in our own mind that we are one with Source. Just continue to do that because we know prayer changes things. And now I'd like to invite Reverend Kathy up to do our conscious giving. Thank you.
Meditation. It is my joy to invite you to make a contribution to Vision at this time. If you feel that you've been touched or uplifted in some way, fed spiritual food, Vision is the appropriate place to receive your contribution. We always want to be giving to the people, places, and things that nurture us spiritually so that they can continue to be present in our life. And so if you're choosing to give today, please hold your gift in your hand. Hold it on your heart if you like. And just take a moment to turn within and let us know together that there is only one life, that this life is God's life, that God's life is abundance,